Hey Stampers, it's Gaynor again. I've been playing with another a designer series box. Let me start again. I've been making a box for my 6x6 designer series paper, and I think I made this one a little bit too high, but this is great because it's got a little compartment on the front to put all your scraps in, or you could put anything you want in there. But I thought, instead of rooting through each bag for a piece of scrap, if I just pop them in the front, you can just stand them up, you can lay them down that way. You can just literally have all your 6x6 designer series paper and then have your little tray for your scraps which go in there. Brilliant. But it's just slightly higher. I've cut a notch out with the 2-inch circle punch, but it's just slightly higher. So I'm going to make this one a little bit of an inch shorter. That way you can, I've got mine labelled in bags because I like to be able to pull them out and grab them, and I know what colours they are. So these are all my in colours. So when I do the next one, it'll be for all my others, and it's perfectly perfect to put. You could have this for, I don't know, what would you put in this besides crafting stuff? You could have my little pots of inks maybe that go with the colours. It's entirely up to you. It's whatever you want to do. But I'm doing mine so I can collect my scraps in there, because I've got a scraps bin. It's overflowing, so I need to keep the scraps with the designer series paper. You could also put it straight back in the bag, but then I don't want to be rooting through all the bags just to find a piece when I've got some in here. So I'm using it for scraps. So let's get going. Yeah, so I've adjusted this one to make it just a little bit lower so the designer series paper sticks up at the top. So what you're going to need is, I'm using thick Very Vanilla. You're going to need 2 pieces. These are for your top box, and these both measure 9.5 by 6.5, sorry. 2 of those, and then this is for your bottom box, and this is 10 3/4 by 6. So let's get this simply scored. It is so simple. Gonna pop this in. Now this is the 10 3/4, and we're basically gonna score this at 2 inches. Flip it around 2 inches. Flip it to the short side and 2 inches. That's the bottom box. Now with these are the 9.5 by 6.5, and we're going to score these at 2, 8 3/4. Whoops. Flip it to the short side, and we're going to score this at 1 1/4. And now we're going to do that on both pieces. So it's at 2, 8 3/4. Turn it to the short side, and 1 1/4. Simples. That is all our scoring done. So what you're going to do, you're going to remove this little square rectangle here, and I'm just going to notch in slightly, and I'm going back because I've missed. You just want to take away the score line. There we go. May have cut a little bit more. There we go. And you're just going to give this a slight trim at the top here, and I'm going to cut away the score line on this side. Little notch, and I'm going to do it this way because I don't want a deep cut, so I'm going from the score line and I'm just giving it a little shave, and you're going to do that on this piece as well. So cut up the score line, give it a little notch, and then from the score line give it a little shave. Same with this side, up to the score line, removing the score line, little notch, and a little notch. That's all. It just helps everything close properly. So we get rid of those bits. Now on this bit, we are just going to cut up the score line and the tiniest little notch on that one as well. And I'm going to go again from the score line because I just want a tiny little slither off. Same on this side. And then we're going to cut up here. And just a tiny little slither up there. Just so when we come to put these flaps in, it sits well. Whoops, get rid of our bits. Now we're going to fold and burnish our card. So simple. We're going to decorate first and then we're going to assemble. So these flaps are going to go in here, like that. And this is your bottom box to keep your scraps. We're going to decorate both sides. We're going to decorate here, and we're going to decorate the front. Excuse me. Let's burnish these sides. Oh, excuse me. It's quite late at night. And is it Friday? Oh, it's Saturday today. And the same with these. That is going to go in there. And this is going to be the other part to our box. So what we need to do is, because that's going to attach there, like that. And then we're going to attach that like that. So we need to burnish this the opposite way. It does really hold well as well. It's really cute. And so this is going to attach to here. You line up the score lines, top and bottom, and then making sure they're the same width. And we're going to adhere those down, and then we're going to do the same on this side as well. But we're going to decorate first. So let's start with the base. Now, your pieces you will need. For this bit, you're going to need one piece at 6 5/8 by 1 7/8. And I'm pointing it on that way because, oh, that's a little bit long. Need to trim that down. Whoa! We need the 6 5/8, I think it is. 6 5/8. Oh yes, we was over. Just a little bit. Let's just check. Oh, I think I need a little fraction more off there actually. I'm going to take that to 6 1/2. I had that perfect. Oh, do you know what I did? I got the other papers I'm using. I did them. They're all directional, and I cut this piece the wrong way. So I think this has got to be 6 3/8. 1 2 3. 6 3/8. There you go. Not 6 5/8. You know what you're doing. Sorry about that. So this is the front of our box. That's why I'm attaching this way, because I don't want it upside down. Then you're going to need 4 other pieces. This is not the same, but it coordinates lovely. You're going to need 4 of these. These are 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and these fit on our flaps in here and on the outside, and then there and there. So let's get some attaching. I'm going to use fast fuse just for the video, because it's doesn't make it long-winded then. And I love fast fuse. But it's a practical little box. It'll sit on your shelf. You can just pop your hand in, grab the scrap piece you need. You're not letting nothing go to waste then. So let's get our... Okay, I love the love arts on the other side as well. You could even do love arts on the inside, cactus on the outside. Entirely up to you, but please don't forget that it's directional. So one will go in one way and that piece will go in that way. But I'm always looking for designer series paper because I cut one of mine down. One sheet gets cut down to 6 by 6 and the other one gets cut, I leave at 12 by 12 if it comes as 12 by 12. So I'm always looking for some way to keep the paper and the scraps together. Oh, come on. I think this has just come to the end. Yeah, it has. I've got another one here. I'll sort that out after. It's better. So this is directional on the inside. And this is directional on the outside. Look at those hearts. And this is that paper I bought the other day in the range. And I thought I'd give it a go. Because I do like to cut them down to 6 by 6 as well sometimes. Perfect. And this piece you're going to need, this is... I've cut it too long, haven't I? Right there now. Is this the right... Oh, do you know what I've done? I've cut this to 10.5 and it needs to be 10 3/4. Oh gosh, what am I going to do? I'm going to grab another piece quickly. It will not take long at all. Trust me. So, I thought I was right. It was 6 5/8. So I'm going to do this really quickly in front of you now. Because I like to keep my mistakes in. I like to rectify them. And I don't know why I cut that to 10.5 when it's supposed to be 10 3/4. Do you know when you're doing 2 of everything and you're rushing through and... Oh, I need to take this to 6.5. So I'm going to score this on here. This is going to be scored at 2. Flip it round. 2. And 2. We're going to need this out in a minute to cut that designer serge paper. So up, notch, notch. That's better. This is normal, very vanilla now because I only had 6 pieces and I just used one the wrong way. So right, I attached 4 pieces. So let me get some more designer series paper out. I've got this close to hand. So oh, what do I like? I've got bits all over the place. So they needed to be 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. 1, 2, 3. That's definitely not wide enough. What's that? Oh, this is going to make it the wrong way. I'm going through my bit. Look, I'm going to have to pinch right there. Ooh. 3 7/8. Perfect. By 1 7/8. Yay! So we've got enough. There's my 4 bits. Now we're going to need a long bit. So I'm going to use this pattern, which coincides. So this is 6 5/8. Oh, look how close that was. By 3 7/8. There we go. We've got all our pieces now. So I can just pop them to one side. I'm going to sort out a little scraps bin for them as well. But see how easy you can do something and then realise that you're like a half an inch or a quarter of an inch out. So I will make a smaller version of this for my scraps for my other designer series paper. So just going to get my bone folder. But always check your measurements, not like me rushing. Check them to make sure that they are... Oh, how's that now? Dana, what are you doing? I've done this wrong. I've cut this wrong. This one had to be 6, not 6.5. Oh my gosh. Look at me telling you to check yours. There we go. I can just pop this in at 6. There we go. This has to be 10 3/4 by 6. It's these that are 9.5 by 6.5. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. That's it. That's better. I knew my measurements weren't wrong. It was just me being a wonky donkey, as per usual. So I'm just going to add fast views. This is just going to sit in the bottom of my little box. If you get any overhang, just push it over. And it is directional, so do be careful. Better. And do I need a piece for the front? Yeah, and I've got it just there. Look at that. So I'm going to cut this to 1 and... This is 6 5/8 by 1 7/8. This is for the front piece. This is perfect. And that's going to go on there. This will now match our sides. Yay! See? Don't do as I do. Just follow the measurement. Do you know what they always say? Like a carpenter would do as well. Measure twice, cut once. So we're going to attach our little flaps yet again. Didn't take for us long to catch up, so we get to chin wag a little bit more as well, don't we? There we go, making sure you've got the direction right. Oh, bless. My grandson, oh, bless his little soul. His mum come just to say goodnight to them because she's working again tomorrow. And he's like, Mummy, I don't want you to go. And she went, I gotta go to work. Okay, I don't want you to go, but get going, he said. Bless his little soul. He says, but I know you've got to go. He's only 5. He's autistic, bless him. But he's not dull at all. He's not far from it. And this way we get to have a little chat a bit longer. Oop. There we go. There we go. Right, now we've caught up and we've got our piece, which is now 10 3/4. Yay! We could adhere these down now. If you wanted, you could always put a piece in the front after this flap is adhered down. Perfect corners. And hide those flaps, but you're going to be looking at the box like this, so I don't think you really need to, unless you want to. I've done this on the 4 sides because I like to look in and see. So you could add a panel in there if you want, but that is the base of your box. That's where your scraps are going to go. Now, phew, let's see if we get this one right. We need for this 2 pieces of designer series paper, 1 for each side. And this is 6 5/8 by 5 1/8. And this is 1 7/8. by 5 1/8, and you're going to do exactly the same on the other piece as well. See, we are getting it right, just not just me cutting, rushing. I don't tend to do that normally. I've normally pretty good, but I wanted to adjust the sizes. I think that's where the confusion came from, because I wanted it to be a slight, not so tall. So I think that's where the confusion came from. I love fast views. You treat it gentle and nice, and it treats you lovely. If you try rough and pushing down hard, then it doesn't sit well. Perfect. Now for our next piece. I don't normally like a box that comes in 2 halves as well, because I like to use one sheet at cardstock, but I think for this it's well worth using that little bit of extra to have that little tray underneath as well, and I love it. So now we're going to pop this in. Keeping it nice and straight all the way down. And our little flap. Then we're going to grab our 2 1/4 inch circle punch. And we are going to cut ourselves a front out. So what I'm going to do, I am marking, because this is 6 3/4. So I'm going to make a little mark. So 6 3/4, so 3. So that's 1 2 3 1. So it's going to be about there. The centre is. Grab my 2 1/4 inch circle punch, and see the ones in the centre. That's the centre. So what I'm going to do is line that up. I'm just going to check. Line that up. I'm just going to check. See, it's lined up. Oops, you can't see that now. Let me just check it again. See, it's checked up there. So it's in the centre, and pop. And there's our thumb hole, big thumb hole. So I'm going to use tear and tape, because this is really strong, on both my flaps. I'm going to use my bone folder. I think next time I will cut the paper with you, instead of having it all prepped and ready to go. We've done most of it anyway, so we might as well just cut it all together. Perhaps I could get my designer series paper ready. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to now, you're just going to line this up, bang on at the top, and bang on with the score lines here. Whoops, don't go out of place. And then just fold that over. Now we're going to add, oh, I've added it there. I'm just going to remove my tear tape now from there. And I'm just going to lay this flat, making sure it's level at the top and bottom. And put that down. And there we have our square box. So now we need to just pop our sides in, and what the heck's happened there now? I haven't nicked into that corner enough. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to just, oh sorry, you was out of shot. So we need to adhere this down now. So I'm going to put a strip. I'm going to put some fast fuse on my tabs. I'm just going to open this out. Should have done it first. Just going to put a line of fast fuse on my flaps. And then I'm going to put a line down this side. So now we can pop our sides in, keeping those level. Give that a pinch. And then, oh, I've done the wrong side. Silly beggar. Oh, come on. What am I like? I'll just peel that off. There we go. What am I like? That's better. It got sticky on the other side anyway, so, right. Sorry, right, line that up and pinch. Line this up and pinch, and then we can fold that over and just give that a, and then we can get, this is overhanging here. There we go, that's better. So there's the box, and now it fits in there, and you're going to glue it to the back of the box there, and to there, and it fits in there like a glove, as they say. Oh, it's coming on lovely. So I'm going to use wet glue for this. Just going to make some little marks of where I can glue up to. So I'm just going to, no one's going to see that because I've just gone below, and I'm just going to put a little mark on that side so I can glue all that panel there. All the way up to that line, all the way at the bottom. And then up to that line on there. Can you see that line there? This is going to keep our box together. I'm just going to sit that in. Right down there. And right at the back on this one. So it's nice and level. I'm just going to put my hand inside just while I get that to stick. And keep it pushed down at the back so it's all nicely lined up. Come on, there you go, wiggle space, there we go. Oh, that's what I love about wet glue, you can get it all perfectly lined up. There we go. It's just going to take a little bit to dry because we did put quite a lot. There we go, that is perfect. There is your designer series box. Isn't that cute? And there's space for your scraps. And I'm just going to grab my other lot of designer series paper. I have so much. Right. So I got my Broadway bound. Look at all the bits I've got. So I'd have to pull the bag out. Keep looking. Look, and I never throw anything away. Because it's 6 by 6, you know it's going to fit. And I don't have to go rummaging through the bag. I mean, I'm not going to put that piece in because it's a good size. But that's one packet. I've got my Petal Promenade. Look, I don't throw anything. That can go in there. And I cut this down to 6 by 4. I've got my tea room. I can put them in there, and you can put the larger pieces at the back. So there's 3. I haven't even used any of this yet, so Christmas paper I can put at the back. I've got my frosted florals, and I can put my pieces in there. So how many is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got my share what I love. I'll sort that one out after. 7, 8, and tropical chic. I've got 9 packs in there, really easy, and I probably would get a couple more. So I've got Twinkle Twinkle as well, and the bag's split. So I'm going to keep the Christmas paper together. I've got a few little bits of scrap in there. See what I mean? And I rip the bag every time I go to get scraps out. Look how small my scraps are. And I tend to keep my Christmas at the back. So, how many packs is that? 1. Oh, that's tropical chic. That can come at the front. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 11 packs of designer series paper in that one box. And a little scraps bin as well. How fabulous is that? I love this. So I've got 2 brand new boxes. One is slightly smaller and the other's slightly taller, but I think I like both. But I'm glad I did the shorter version as well, so but it's entirely up to you. I'm going to sit these on my shelf. I got 11 and 6. Oh, there's easy. Where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 18 packs of designer series paper there in 2 little boxes. You could even glue these back to back if you could, and then you've got a mega huge box then. But then I'm thinking of the weight, but I like them kept like that. I'm going to have them on my shelf just like that. Scraps to hand and designer series paper all together. You could have one for Christmas, one for normal, and one for all your in colours and subtles. Like these are going to stay together. Oh, there we go. Oh, I hope you like it. I think this is so cute. And those are the papers I used from my pads I had the other day from the range. So, well, I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry about the little mix up at the beginning with the sizes. So I'm going to read them out again quickly. So for the bottom box, it's got to be 10 3/4 by 6. And you're going to score 2 inches both ends and 2 inches across the bottom. So that's 2 inches on 3 sides. This top box then is 9.5 by 6.5. And you're going to score at 2, 8 3/4 on the long side, and then turn up to the short side and score at 1 1/4 on both boxes. Your designer series paper then, for the bottom box, you're going to need 4 at 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, 1 at 6 5/8 by 1 7/8, and 1 at 3 7/8 by 6 5/8. And for the top box, you're going to need 2 at 6 5/8 by 5 1/8, and 2 at 1 7/8 by 5 1/8, and that's perfect. I love them. I think they're really nice. And yeah, I'm saying, sorry about the confusion, me cutting it down to 10.5. I looked at my pad at a glance and saw the half and assumed it was the half. That's where I'd made the mistake. But I love these. I'm going to make some more. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate if you did, because I do try and post every single day. Look, scraps. Love it. And I never throw mine. I mean, look, who keeps a piece? Where am I? Oh my God. how small. I've got, look, I keep bits this size. I'm stingy. But there you go. My designer series paper holder and little tub for scraps, offcuts. I said on it, I said it holds up to 7 packs, but I was assuming this one, because these are all full, get one more in there, but this back one's got actually 11 pieces. Depends on the thickness of your designer series paper. Right, once again, thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.